Imagine leaving behind everything you've ever known to embark on a journey across thousands of miles into the unknown. The stakes? Life and death, with the fate of entire cities hanging in the balance. That's the world portrayed in Kingdom of Heaven, Ridley Scott's epic film about the Crusades. But what if I told you that much of what you saw on screen wasn't entirely accurate? Today we're separating the Hollywood drama from the real history of the Crusades. Spoiler alert, the truth is even more intense. But before we dive into this untold story, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into history's most epic moments. Now, let's set off on our journey. Kingdom of Heaven depicts the Third Crusade, focusing on the events leading up to the Battle of Hattin and the fall of Jerusalem. While the film paints a compelling picture of knights, kings, and sieges, the real story is far more complex. The Crusades weren't just epic battles between knights and soldiers. They were a clash of cultures, religions, and ideals. By the late 12th century, Jerusalem had become a powder keg, with tensions boiling over between Christian and Muslim forces. But what drove people to join these campaigns? Was it faith, adventure, or something else entirely? Let's start with the character of Balan of Ibelin, the central figure in the movie. In Kingdom of Heaven, Balan is portrayed as a humble blacksmith who becomes a heroic leader defending Jerusalem. However, the real Balan was a nobleman with years of military experience. Far from being an outsider, he was already deeply entrenched in the politics of the Holy Land. The film shows Balan as a reluctant hero, but in reality, he was a seasoned knight who knew the ins and outs of medieval warfare. His defense of Jerusalem in 1187 was indeed heroic, but he didn't do it alone. It was a coordinated effort with the remaining leaders of the Kingdom of Jerusalem. Hollywood simplified his story for dramatic effect, but the truth is that Balan's leadership and diplomacy were far more nuanced. The climactic scenes of the film focus on the siege of Jerusalem, where Balan negotiates with Saladin to save the city's inhabitants. In the movie, we see fierce battles and a dramatic showdown. But here's the real story. The fall of Jerusalem was as much about strategy as it was about brute force. Saladin, the leader of the opposing forces, was known for his tactical brilliance and mercy in victory. After defeating the Crusaders at the Battle of Hattin, Saladin didn't ruthlessly destroy Jerusalem. Instead, he negotiated with Balan, allowing Christian inhabitants to safely leave the city. This act of mercy was a stark contrast to how battles were usually fought at the time. In reality, Balan and Saladin's negotiations were a masterclass in diplomacy. Saladin's generosity was not simply a Hollywood invention. It was a calculated move to maintain peace and stability. The truth behind this historical moment shows that leaders on both sides were more pragmatic than the black and white portrayals we often see in films. One of the central themes of Kingdom of Heaven is the idea of religious tolerance. The film shows characters from different faiths working together and seeking mutual understanding. While this theme makes for great storytelling, it's not entirely accurate. The real Crusades were marked by deep-seated tensions, not only between Christians and Muslims, but also among rival Christian factions. The Crusaders often fought amongst themselves, and internal politics played a huge role in their defeats. The movie simplifies these complexities to focus on unity, but the reality was far messier. However, there were indeed moments of coexistence. Historical records show that despite the conflict, there were periods when Christians, Muslims, and Jews lived side by side in the Holy Land. These moments of peace and cultural exchange are often overshadowed by the stories of battles and bloodshed, but they are just as important in understanding the true history of the Crusades. While Kingdom of Heaven ends on a hopeful note with Balan returning to his old life, the real legacy of the Crusades was far more lasting. These wars reshaped the medieval world, leading to shifts in power, the exchange of knowledge, and even changes in architecture and technology. The Crusades weren't just military campaigns. They were also cultural encounters that transformed Europe and the Middle East. The real takeaway from this period isn't just about who won or lost, but how these events shaped the course of history. What Hollywood misses is the long-term impact of these conflicts, how they set the stage for centuries of interactions between different cultures. It's a reminder that history is rarely as simple as good versus evil. It's a web of motivations, choices, and unexpected outcomes. So there you have it, the untold story behind Kingdom of Heaven. The movie captured the spirit of the Crusades but left out many of the complex realities that made this period so fascinating. The real story is filled with strategic maneuvers, unexpected alliances, and moments of compassion amid chaos. If this deep dive into the real history behind Hollywood's epic has sparked your curiosity, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. We've got more historical deep dives coming your way, where we separate fact from fiction and uncover the truth behind the biggest stories in history. Thank you for watching, and remember, history is more than just battles and kings. It's about the people who shaped the world in ways we're still feeling today. Until next time, stay curious and keep questioning what you see on screen.